The relationship between technology and democracy is one of the most debated issues in political philosophy. With technology, we intend new technologies, the last developments and findings of this matter. We intend social media and so on. And in the first time, there was a great hope that through technology, democracy could be affirmed in all of the world, that many people can be included, can be make participating on a democratic process, on a democratic exchange of rational arguments and so on. The Arabic Spring in 2011 was a moment in which we hoped that through technology, not only autocratic regimes could be eliminated, but also democratic structures could be implemented in these nations. We see that activists for human rights, fundamental liberties in China use technology to bring ahead their ideas. But in the last years, we also saw that technology could be used by autocratic regimes, that it was even possible to influence on elections of other countries through technology and social media. We see the use of social media and technologies by sovereignists, by nationalists and populist politicians or parties, and so on. So the relationship between both will be one of the most central themes in the next years. And since Corona crisis has even worsened this problematic, in the next years democracy will have to demonstrate another time anew, to be, as Churchill stated, the worst form of government except all those other forms that have been tried from time to time. So what is this relationship? On the one hand, we have democracy with its weak, slow processes, democracy which has to be representative, and in this way it guarantees fundamental liberties for people. On the other hand, we have internet, social media, which are fast, flexible, which are fluid, which are transboundary, and so it is difficult for democratic nations to define the right rules to govern these technological processes, and it is important to govern them. Because through technological processes, on the one hand, it is now ongoing a certain dynamic which installs panoptical situations for people in which great powers, enterprises, firms and so on can spy even and every time more people and their private lives. On the other hand, internet is not anymore the great window to the other and to the world. We know that in the recent dynamics, internet is becoming every time more a mirror, which brings the one who searches for other only himself back to himself. So I only find things that I just knew, that I want to hear, that I want to see. But democratic process, as Habermas defined, would be the encounter, would be the dialogue with the other on a rational level. And only in this way, freedom and liberty can be realized. So this is a problem which we have to face in future. But in the recent moment, there is no fear that technology could really destroy democracy. In the next 10 years, we cannot know that. And therefore it is important to define what is the very essential of democracy, what can never be sacrificed for technological innovation. We have to define our fundamental liberties. We have to defend our rights. We have to defend our participatory and our representative democracy. But on the other hand, we have also to introduce new direct elements. We have to be more open for a participatory democracy, for a deliberative democracy, for all these new dynamics which internet brings into democracy. Because democracy is not only rights and representation. Democracy is also dialogue and exchange. So the really challenge, and this challenge can be realized thanks to new technologies, will be a new synthesis about both elements. Democracy has to be, on the one hand, representative and defending fundamental rights. On the other hand, it will have to be more direct, and it will have to involve more people. And for this issue, internet will be necessary. So let's find new ways of synthesis. Thank you for your attention.